Do the handle assembly on an action grip. So we'll start with 5.1, which is just attaching this lock tab to the trigger, and very important that you get these ADR screws fully tightened down so that that APS lock tab is not wiggly at all and is fully tightened down to the trigger. So we're going to do that step, and we're going to need a screwdriver, so we're going to grab that.
I don't use power tools in my whole mission.
If you have a tough time putting these screws in, of course a longer, bigger screwdriver offers more torque, making them easier to put in. So if you're having trouble with this step, try to find a longer, better screwdriver. Okay. Now we'll go on to step 5.2, which is basically just putting this spring here into the trigger and then into the handle. If you look really closely at the little arrows, you can see where it's wanting you to put this APS lock tab into. It's just going right into that little slot there. So that's the slot it's going into. Shouldn't even be able to fit into one of these other slots, so this shouldn't be a part where you can even really do it wrong. But you got to make sure you put your spring on. And you don't want this spring to fall out of place. That'll make your handle not work. So you got to make sure that spring's in there and stays in place, so you get that spring-loaded feel right there. All right, 5.3, we've got putting the handle on the ALB outer tube. Notice the little note there for the notch. There's your notch, and then here are your holes that the handle is going to go into. And so, once again, calling for a screwdriver. This 5.3 step is extremely important that you tighten the handle all the way down onto this. So let's do that step. So the handle's going on the other side here, like down here. And then there's your screw holes. Got to line up the screw holes. So make sure they're lined up. Okay, we actually had this backwards. Like this little line right here is actually just pointing to the notch is underneath there. So the only way that this can go on is with these screw holes here. So it goes on the other way actually. So it's gonna be much easier this time when we do it correctly. So now we should be able to line the holes up. And now the head of the screw actually has somewhere to go this time. So now those should line right up. So another critical step in making sure these are fully tightened in. Yeah, you got to get them as tight as they will possibly go, so they're fully in there. If they're not in there all the way, you're gonna have problems. So we'll do this other one. Okay, and we got those screws in. So now we're on to 5.4. We've already done that step, which is just putting this little bushing on to the outer edge there. So now we already put our height sticker on as well for 5.5. And the height sticker, the bottom of the height sticker should be flush with the bottom of this channel there. Your heights are going to be off if you don't do that. See how this little arrow is pointing down to the bottom? And then next step is just putting your inner channel in. And here's the key, is that you've got to make sure that this trigger is locking into place. So notice the notches. The notches need to be on the same side as this trigger here. So let's put it in. And as you're putting it in, you pull on this trigger. And then try going to some different heights. Hear that clicking sound? That means it's going to lock into the different heights. So that's basically it. And then now you've got your whole handle assembled, and it's going to attach there and there. You should be good to go.